Hello children, how are you all? I hope you are fit and fine and studying also, because our examination, annual examination, is very near. So children, we are revising direct and indirect speech. So we will be continuing the same topic today. So children, let's start. I have discussed yesterday the reporting verbs say changes to reporting verbs like ask, command, warn, order or advise. So children, today we are going to continue the same topic, and our second point is when requests are changed into indirect speech. So what we supposed to write, children? So children, now we are moving to that point. Number 3. When requests are changed into indirect speech. Into indirect speech, the reporting verb say will be changed. Say changes into request, as we have discussed yesterday. Request, comma, ask, beg, plead, invite, and so on. So children, whenever we are requesting to the person, so in direct speech it is written, please give me a pen, please give me this copy. So in indirect speech we will change, the say will change, reporting verb will changes into request, ask, beg, plead, invite, and so on. So I am going to write one example over here, children. Example, this I am going to write on the board, that is the compare said to the audience. Compare said to the audience, please be seated. So this is one example I am giving you, that this is a request by the comparer, that is please be seated, children. Now here please is there, so this is request. Now we will change in indirect speech. How we will write this? Because in this said, this is reporting verb. In place of said, we will write request. So here the comparer requested. As we have discussed, we have to use infinitive. Requested the audience to be seated. Okay. Now here children, what we have changed? Only and only this. Reporting verb we have changed. Now here we have used over here requested, and after that requested the audience to be seated. Audience to be. Now this is infinitive, as we have discussed yesterday, to, and after that verb will be placed. So this is infinitive. So children, this is how we can change these type of the sentences which is based on request, or in place of say we will change into request, ask, beg, plead, invite, and so on. So similarly we will change reporting verb. Okay children, now we are moving to the, I'll give you one more example, that is the little girl said to her mother, inverted commas, that is, please do not punish me. Please do not punish me. Because here you can see what type of word we will use over here, because here the little girl telling to her mother that please do not punish me. So here the request earnestly, she is earnestly requesting. So that is why we will use over here plead. So for indirect speech we will write the little girl pleaded. In place of said we will use over here pleaded. The little girl pleaded with her mother not to punish her. Now children, here you can see the changes in the reporting verb. Little girl said, in place of said, because here she is requesting to her mother not to punish. Here the request in a very earnestly manner. That is why we are adding over here pleaded. The word pleaded we will use. So the little girl pleaded with her mother not to punish her. And pronoun here we have already changed. So these are the things we just keep in mind while making direct to indirect speech. If the direct speech written in the requested manner, then we will use these type of the verb according to the sentences, because every time we cannot use requested. Sometime we have to use beg, sometime we have to use pleaded. These type of the words we will use. So it is depend on the sentence, which type of the meaning is coming out from the sentence, that according to the meaning, according to the mood of the sentence, we will write this. So children, be very particular whenever you are changing reporting verb. So now children, we are moving to the next our rule, that is when a statement is given as a advice. So what we will write there? So for this I am going to write next rules. That our next rule is, that is when a statement giving advice. When statements giving advice are changed into indirect Indirect speech, the reporting verb say, the reporting verb say will change into advise, suggest, warn, forbid, and so on. So children, when the statement is looking like a suggestion or advice, so what we will use in the place of reporting verb said? The reporting verb say will change into advise. He advised, suggested, warned, and forbid. So these words you have to learn, because then we have solved previous rule, request. So in place of request, in place of say, we have used in reporting verb requested or pleaded, begged. So these type of the words we will use in the requesting manner. So here, because this is depend on the advice, so here in place of say we will use advise, suggest, warn, forbid, and so on. So for this I'll give you one example. Example is, mother said to the child, be careful while handling sharp object. So here children, you can see in this sentence, the mother is giving advice to the child. Be careful. Be careful here, she is warning. You just assess the meaning of the sentence. Then you will use these type of the words in the place of said or say. So be careful, it means she is warning. Okay. Now in place of this, or warning, or you can say this is an advice also. Be careful. It means she is giving advice also. She is warning and she is giving advice also. So warning will come in the negative manner. So if we will use as in positive manner, so it has become an advice. So here you can write, mother in the indirect speech, mother advised, mother advised the child to be careful while handling sharp objects. So children, this is the way you can convert direct to indirect speech if the statement is given in the form of advice. So in that we will use these type of the sentence, suggest, advise, warn, forbid, and so on. So these two rules we have discussed. Now we are moving on to the second rule. Okay, so next rule is different from them, but you just practice it on these two rules. You have to write on the request and suggestions or advice. So you just make two sentences and then you change the statement, and after you change in indirect speech. So it will give you a very good practice for making the sentences in the proper way. So children, let's move to the next rule. Now we are moving to the next rule, that is, if the command is given in a negative form. It means I am going to write on the board now. The thing is that the command, if the statement is in the command and it is in negative form, so how we will write it? So here, when statements giving when negative commands, it means are changed into indirect speech. We use the structure like that: negative plus infinitive. As we have done one sentence before that. So first, when the command is given in the negative form, so what we will use? Not we have to use, so negative to infinitive, and after that not to. That type of the sentence we will make, not and then to. Okay, so infinitive to will be used, and after that the verb will be placed. So children, this formula will be followed when we are making negative commands. When we are changing negative commands in indirect speech, then we will do this type. So I'll give you one example for that. The policeman said to the thief, don't try to run away. Don't try to run away, children. Here you can see, don't try to run away. The statement is given as a warning, as a command. So here, don't try to run away. It is written in the negative, do not. Now here, how we will write? The policeman warned. Now because this is giving a negative sound, don't. That is why in the previous statement we have written advised, because this was not in negative form. Be careful. So that is why here we will use don't. Don't is in the negative command. So here police warned the thief not to try, not to. Here you can see not to. The formula we are using over here, not to try to run away. Here children, you can see we have used the formula which is given. So negative plus infinitive. Now here you can see, because this is negative command, that is why we have used over here warned. Warned means don't do this. So this is the warning. The policeman warned the thief not to try to run away. Not to try to run away. Here you can see. Warn the thief not to try to run away. So to we have used as a infinitive, and after that not we have placed, and after that to, and after that verb will be placed. Not to try to run away. So this way we have done. Okay children. Now we are going to discuss one more rule, that is, I'll write on the board because it's quite easy for us to understand. Okay. So next is sentence with a noun or pronoun use to name the person, to name the person addressed are changed into indirect speech by treating the noun or pronouns as the object of the verb. So children, here you can see sentence with a noun or pronoun used to name the person addressed are changed into indirect speech by treating the nouns or pronoun as the object of the verb. So this change we will do, and I'll give you one example for that. And one thing, the verb ask. The verb ask will use. Okay? Will use. So this we will do. So verb ask is used. So I'm going to give you few example. He said, inverted commas start, tie your shoes laces. Tie your shoe laces. Inverted comma close. Here you can see tie your shoelaces. Now in indirect speech, we will convert he asked. Here ask verb will be used. So he asked. Laces Reena. Reena, the name is Reena over here. So he asked Reena to tie her shoe laces. Now here children you can see tie your shoelaces Reena. Now in direct speech he asked Reena to tie shoelaces. Infinitive we have used over here. Now next example, She said, take your books from the cupboard me too, inverted comma close, take your books from the cupboard, me too. Okay, now how we are going to write indirect speech? As we have discussed that the verb ask is used, so here she asked me to take her books from the cupboard. Here we have used over here asked. She asked me to take her books from the cupboard. So this is how we will do this number. Okay, now we are moving to the interrogative sentences. If direct speech is having question, so how we can change in indirect speech? So children, first of all, the topic I am going to write on the board, that is conversion of commands. Okay, sorry, conversion of interrogative sentences into indirect speech. Now children, we have already learned how to convert imperative sentences in indirect speech. Now this is interrogative sentence. So first of all, what is interrogative sentence? Interrogative sentence, in these type of the sentence, we are supposed to ask question. So here, if the sentence is written in the direct speech and it is asking question, then we will call it interrogative sentence. Now here, the question mark is replaced by a full stop. First rule, when we are changing direct to indirect speech and the direct speech is written in the interrogative sentences, so first thing what we will do, first thing, that is the question mark is replaced by a full stop. That is, you can say, a fundamental rule of making indirect speech when the sentence in interrogative sentence and it is written in the direct speech. So how we can change? We will, first of all, the question mark is replaced by a full stop. Okay children, now I will give you one example, that is, she said to me, what did you eat in the morning? Dear. Now here you can see after this question mark is placed. Now how we can convert in indirect sentence, indirect speech? So children, first of all, She asked me, because this is the question. What did? So here she asked me affectionately. Affectionately, what I had, my dear, because here you can see the addressing like my dear, dear is there. So the person who is addressing someone, that is dear. So that is why we are using over here, she asked me affectionately what I had eaten, what I had eaten in the morning. Okay. So children, here you can see she asked me, because this is a question, that is why I have convert in indirect speech. So this is she asked me affectionately what I had eaten in the morning. Now here we are replacing question mark into full stop. So children, today we have discussed one rule making indirect speech in interrogative sentences. So children, tomorrow we will be continue this topic. So we will continue this topic tomorrow also. So children, practice it on this rule, and we will meet again. Till then, bye bye and take care.